Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Chels, and if you are struggling to lose weight on a plant-based diet or really any diet and you're wanting to know what to eat for weight loss and how to stop self-sabotaging and what habits you need to develop, then this is the channel for you. We are currently in lockdown in New Zealand at the moment. It is day 6 of a full lockdown, and that means that we are really not allowed to leave the house except for walking or like going and doing some exercise. The only shops that are open are essential services like groceries and things like that. And it's so funny because even though that is still happening, that is happening right now, it is still noisy outside. I can hear a motorbike. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I always have this problem in my podcast, but we will push on. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 10, oh my gosh, 10, that's a lot, 10 hacks that have really helped me on my plant-based lifestyle, particularly as I've been on a weight loss journey. But if you are new to a plant-based lifestyle and you're wanting to incorporate just more things to make it easy and doable, then these are going to be super relevant for you as well. I used to always follow people online who would be meal prepping lots of things, and they'd be making like these complicated sauces and blending up all their own spice mix, and I thought it was great. I tried to do that, but it wasn't helpful for me. So all of these hacks I'm going to share are going to be things that make your life easier. They are really helpful if you are a busy mom or just a busy human and kind of lazy in the kitchen, because that's me. I wouldn't call myself a domestic goddess. I'm more of a domestic deviant. So if that sounds like you, drop me a line in the comments. I want to know as well. Tell me if you're a bit of a domestic deviant. I just think it's so important to have hacks that make your life easier, because if it's not easy, you're not going to do it. Okay, so the first hack that I want to share is prepping your veggies as soon as you get home from the supermarket. So I mostly do this for broccoli, where I will get the broccoli and then I will cut it up, or most of the time I'm actually breaking this up into little florets, and then I'm putting it into a big container for me to use really easily when I go to make meals. You can do this with shredded cabbage. I do it with grated carrot. And then for the broccoli, it just stores it better. It means that you can fit more broccoli in. And if you're anything like me and you buy 10 heads of broccoli at a time when it's in season, then this is super helpful for actually fitting it into your fridge. Another bonus with this is that it means that you can see all of the foods that need to be eaten in your fridge, all of those veggies that you've prepped up, and you're not going to forget about it and have some kind of moldy broccoli at the back of your fridge that you just forgotten about because it was in a bag or something like that. And if you do this as soon as you get home from the farmer's market or the grocery shop, it's going to be part of your prep or your putting away system, and it's just so much more helpful when you come to use it later on. And I'll use the broccoli for adding to risottos or just any kind of stir fries, anything like that. But my favorite thing for this is that I can go and take a big chunk of that broccoli and just put it in my broccoli steamer and steam up a side of veggies for any meal that I'm making. It is a lifesaver when it comes to wanting to get veggies in quickly. The second hack I have for you is to buy as many pre-prepped ingredients as you possibly can. Things like cans of beans and packaged rice, anything that's going to make putting together a meal easier. This is not Little House on the Prairie. You don't have to cook everything from scratch yourself. My mom, as I was growing up, was always like cooking up beans and soaking beans, and I'm the complete opposite. I buy tins of beans, no issue. The main thing they want to look out for with buying tins is that they are BPA free. And then apart from that, just rinsing your beans before you use them, get off some of that fat juice in there and some of the excess salt. If you can buy no salt, that's even going to be better. And I like to put this in spaghetti bolognese or curries or really anything. I buy things like kidney beans, lentils, pinto beans, butter beans, chickpeas. And if you have a wide variety of beans in your cupboard, it's going to make it much easier for you to prep up ingredients, prep up meals super easily and quickly. Packaged rice has also been such a lifesaver for me for throwing together a quick and easy bowl for my lunch, or if we're running late for cooking dinner. A lot of the rice packets that you buy do have oil in them. I can't find one without oil, so I'm okay with that. I know in the States you can buy rice that doesn't have oil in it, and I know that you can also buy frozen rice, so that's a super helpful option. And if you can't go and actually buy that pre-packaged rice, you can always cook up a huge batch of it. I do this sometimes as well, and I'll put some black rice in there, some barley, some brown rice, and some white rice, make a bit of a multi-grain mix, and then put that into the freezer in little Ziploc bags, and I can just defrost it or put it in the microwave super, super handy, because the whole thing that you're trying to do here is make this doable to actually eat a plant-based diet and eat a healthy plant-based diet. So the third hack is to buy ingredients as prepared as possible. So I'm always thinking about how can I buy fresh ingredients that are going to make my life easier. So I always buy washed potatoes, for example. I don't cook potatoes if I have to go to the effort of actually washing them or peeling them. So washed potatoes are my go-to. Another thing that I like to have for a backup is small potatoes, because I don't have to wash them or cut them, and that makes it even easier when I'm in a hurry to cook up a healthy meal. It's so easy these days to buy things like pre-cut cabbage mix or grated carrot, or even soup mixes. There's so many things that you can buy that are already pre-cut. So if you have the opportunity to do that and that's within your budget, I would really, really recommend it, because it's going to make it much easier for you to stay on track. You don't get brownie points for cutting up your own carrot, alright? If you can buy that pre-prepared, then why not do it? Number 4 is to use frozen fruit and vegetables. I absolutely love using frozen fruit and veggies, and this kind of combines 2 hacks into one, where often you can buy frozen veggies that are mixed with another frozen veggie, and you can like literally just pour it all into a pot, into a container, make up a really delicious side of vegetables in 2 seconds flat, because because it's just all there ready, and it's just flipping amazing. I've been making this really delicious broccoli and pea soup recently. I actually did a video where I made this, so if you want to see that video, you can go and follow that there. But the cool thing about this is that most of the ingredients are already pre-prepared, right? So you've got your broccoli, it's already ready, and then you've got your peas. But what I found the other day at the supermarket that I'm geeking out about is a broccoli, pea and spinach frozen mix. So now when I make this, I'm literally just going to pour a bag of veggies in, my kids are screaming, and put the other ingredients in, and that's my soup. So make it easy for yourself. A lot of people think that it's not as nutritious to buy frozen fruit and veggies, but it really, really is just as nutritious, if not more, because they are picked at peak ripeness. So you're getting the best of the best when you buy frozen. Hack number 5 is everything to do with avocados. I flippin' love avocado. It is an amazing source of healthy fats. I love it for my kids, and I pretty much, when it's in season, which it is at the moment, put a little bit of avocado on all of my meals. And yes, you can use avocado and still lose weight. But I found these hacks super, super helpful for making the whole avocado process easier. The first one I saw on TikTok recently, and you basically just cut your avocado in half, and instead of smashing open the seed or like trying to get the seed out with your knife or like digging around it, all you do is put your thumb at the back of the avocado and then your 2 fingers on either side of the stone, gently press from behind, and the seed will pop out super easily, and it's much more safe as well. So that was not my invention, but this other hack is, and that is to mash your avocado on the chopping board. And this is especially important if you are busy or if you someone who just doesn't want to be spending time cleaning up. That's me. I don't want to get out another bowl when I'm already using a chopping board. So I mash my avocado straight onto the chopping board. It's also much easier to do it like this. I'll add a little bit of salt and lemon and pepper, and I can make a quick guacamole for my meals without having to dirty a whole nother plate. So that's my avocado hacks for you. Hack number 6 is to make banana nice cream with your ripe bananas. So basically, nice cream is just blending up frozen ripe bananas, and you can put anything else that you want with it until it gets into a kind of a sorbet or kind of like an ice cream texture. It is absolutely delicious. It really reminds me of when I was a kid going and getting those McDonald's soft serves. Let me know in the comments if you remember this. When I was little, they were like 50 cents each, and as kids we would always ask mum and dad to get them for us whenever we went past a McDonald's, and they quite often did because they were very, very cheap. This reminds me so much of those McDonald's soft serves. Now here's a really important thing. Make sure that your bananas are super ripe when you want to make an ice cream. I've gone to so many cafes where they've made smoothies or some kind of like smoothie bowl with unripe bananas. And this is my gripe with Tank. Tank is like a juice place that we have here in New Zealand. I don't know if it's anywhere else in the world, but man, do they never use ripe bananas, and so they have to add sweeteners to their smoothies. If you get your bananas super ripe with lots of spots, then you're not going to need to add any kind of sweetener to your ice cream or your smoothies. It's going to be super, super sweet. So make sure your bananas are ripe when it comes to freezing them. And I also see people doing complicated things like chopping them on a chopping board once they're peeled, or they will freeze the whole banana and then they will try and chop it, which is really difficult to do. You don't need to do any of that. All you need to do is get your banana and break it into your container. You don't need to use a knife or a chopping board. It's that easy. Hack number 7 is keeping your greens fresh. Now I have very strong feelings on this, so let me know in the comments if you disagree. I've had debates with people about this before, but I do not think that you should wash your greens before you store them. If you wash your greens, in my opinion, what will happen is they will most likely go soggy. So instead, what I like to do is I like to get my greens and get a big plastic container. I use plastic, it works for me. I don't like a really, really heavy thing in my fridge. And I will line that with some paper towels, put my greens in there unwashed, and then wash them straight before I'm going to use them. This has helped me keep greens fresh for a week, sometimes even 2 weeks, and I really, really think that it is a much better way of storing than washing your greens first. The bonus with this is it also makes it more doable when you come home to actually put it in a container. If I had to wash my greens and then like get all the water out of them and pat them dry and do that, I just wouldn't do it. So do that afterwards. If you have got herbs, so things like basil, coriander, parsley, the best way to store them is in jars, basically how you would be storing flowers. And you can put them on your countertop. I like to keep mine out of the sun because I find that they wilt when I put them in the sun, and then just like snip off little bits when you need to, and it will keep them fresh for longer if you do it this way. Hack number 8 is to grind your own flax seeds. So flax seeds are super, super important for your health. They are the best source of omega-3 fatty acids, and you want to make sure that you are including them in your diet on a daily basis. Michael Greger from nutritionfacts.org recommends that we have 2 tablespoons of flax per day, and that needs to be ground flax. But here's the thing, when you buy ground flax from the store, not only is it super expensive, it's also likely that it's already gone rancid, because once you grind it, the oils within the flax, they start to actually go off. So the best thing to do is to buy flax that is whole and then grind it yourself at home and store the ground flax in the fridge. What we do is we just grind up probably a cup of flax at a time in the blender, and you could also use a coffee grinder, and then we put that in a jar into the fridge and sprinkle it onto our porridge in the morning or put it into smoothies. It's a super, super easy way to make sure that you're getting it in, but you're also getting it at that peak nutritional value, which is fresh. And then that lasts about 2 weeks in the fridge, and we're ready to grind another batch. Hack number 9, make your life easier for yourself and make your meals pop with delicious goodness by buying some pre-prepared spice mixes and stocks for your pantry. This is how I make my meals taste delicious. It's how I eat vegetables every day, and I couldn't do that if I didn't have some kind of flavoring on there. So I like to buy a combination of this kind of powdered stock that you can see, and also some stock cubes. I don't buy like the liquid stock because it's super expensive here, and I may as well just buy like these little stock cubes and the powder stock that I can use in whatever I want. And it makes my cooking experience so much easier because I'm not having to throw everything together to try and recreate a flavor that already is being perfected. So these stock cubes that I buy, they do have a tiny amount of oil. I'm not bothered because it's minuscule amounts. But if you are, you can always just buy the powdered stock, or you could use a liquid stock as well. I also like to buy spice mixes like a taco spice mix, and I've got like a garlic, herb, salt, anything that is going to make putting together a meal easier, I am here for it. And especially if you're not used to putting flavors together or cooking, or you're new to a plant-based lifestyle and you just don't know how to make your meals taste amazing, then do yourself a favor, get yourself some good spice mixes, some good stocks, and it's going to make the whole experience more delicious and much more easier for you. Hack number 10. This is not a practical hack, this is much more of a mindset hack, and that is to do with what to do when people ask you questions about your diet or what's on your plate. Because if you're vegan, or if you're trying to go vegan, you are inevitably going to get the where do you get your protein question, or are you getting enough protein? And this is something that I have found super helpful in my own journey, not only in a plant-based lifestyle, but really in almost everything I do, and that is to not automatically accept the framing that someone else puts on you. And I'm going to link a video below by Charisma on Command, which is a great YouTube channel all about how to be more confident and how to really interact with people in a better way. But basically the concept is that you don't automatically accept that just because someone has said something to you that you need to defend that position, because you don't necessarily accept that. And let me give you an example. If someone says to you, or how are you getting enough protein, or are you getting enough protein, instead of accepting that as something that you need to defend, ask a qualifying question. Don't accept that that is your position to defend that. Make them defend their point of view. So I would just ask questions. And if you ask questions in response to questions, you put the onus back on that person. And as long as you know the answer to a few really key little ones, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So what I would say back to that question is, well, how much protein do I need in a day? Most people can't answer this. They have no idea. Another example, if someone is looking at your plate and they're saying, oh, there's too much food on that. And I've definitely gotten this a lot as someone who likes to eat big portions. You can say something like, well, how much should I be eating? Or how many calories does this have? Ask a qualifying question to get them to defend your position. Don't accept that that is your role to need to defend where you are coming from. And obviously being humble and being open is super important as well. But this is specifically for when people are badgering you and you don't know what to say, just ask a question back. It's not your problem anymore a lot of the time. Okay, so those are my top 10 hacks for making your life easier on a plant-based lifestyle. And now I want to know from you, what is the number one hack, if you could give someone one, that you would say has been helpful for you on a plant-based diet? Write it in the comments. I really want to see. If you like the video, then please consider subscribing and check out my Instagram account where I'm putting out new videos and new stuff and stories and fun things all to do with plant-based eating and losing weight on a vegan diet pretty much every single day. And if you want to dive deeper into how to make your life easier as a busy person, and particularly get consistent if you are busy, I just did a podcast episode all about this particular issue, so you can follow the link in the description to listen to that. Alright, that's it from me. I'm going to go enjoy another day in lockdown, and I will see you next week. Bye!